Welcome to the Raider Talks game preview. I am your host, Art Navarrete, here alongside Nick Ibarra. Before we get started, hit that subscribe button down below for Raider content all season long. Make sure to stick around to the end for our keys to the game, our offensive and defensive player of the game predictions for the Raiders, along with our score predictions. Nick, ESPN has the Raiders losing this game.
Yeah.
They have a 55% chance of winning for the Jets versus the Raiders' 44% chance. It's almost a daily thing when we do this preview that they have the Raiders losing.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this heading into this game?
Like I always say, you got to put the ball down and play. I think realistically, these are two evenly matched teams. Two on paper struggling offenses. Jets defenses is better than us. They're top tier. They're elite, to be honest with you. What they're doing to opposing offenses is crazy. It's special. And we get the honor of facing them this week.
Yeah, this game with the Raiders at 4-5, if they can get back to 500, man, they can be right in the playoff race, right in the playoff mix. And this game right here, this Sunday Night Football game against the Jets, a very winnable game at home, is going to have big implications for the Raiders. This is one of those games where you look back on, and this is the game that changed the season for the Raiders. This is the game that can affect a lot of things for the Raiders. This game could be the reason why Antonio Pierce is the head coach next year or isn't the head coach next year. The reason why we have a good draft pick, the reason why we have not a good draft pick at all, because we made the playoffs and maybe made a Super Bowl run.
Yeah.
So this game is huge. It has huge implications for the Raiders. They need to win this one.
You win this one, your season is back on. And if you would have told me a couple weeks ago, hey, you got a chance at being 5-5, I would have been like, no way. What our team's been through all year and what's happened, and the Garoppolo and our offense not scoring 20, and now the coaching changes and everything, and you bring in Antonio Pierce after 10 games, you tell me we're 5-5. That's amazing. That's incredible. Still a lot of more work to do, and it begins Sunday. I'm ready to go, Art.
Let's talk about this Raider offense led by quarterback Aiden O'Connell and new play caller Bo Hardegree.
Yeah.
Bo Hardegree will be getting extra reps himself, putting his stamp on this Raider offense. He has 2 weeks now with Aiden O'Connell with these offensive players, and I expect him to go out there and have a good game plan and score a little bit on this Jets elite defense.
Yeah, I expect more creativity. I expect a lot of more explosive plays. Like we said, this is week 2 for everything. This is initially the first full week for everybody, for Antonio Pierce, Bo Hardegree, for them being in their jobs. So let's go out. Let's go do this. It's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. I can't wait to see what our offense looks like against this defense.
Yeah, the Jets, a really, really good defense. And I would say an elite level defense in the NFL. A good front. I mean, they have ball hawks out there in the secondary. So this is going to be a tough challenge for Bo Hardegree, Aiden O'Connell, and this Raider offense. And, man, if they have a big game against these guys, this Raider offense, which looked like the worst offense in football a couple weeks ago with Josh McDaniels, could be an elite offense.
You go and make some noise and punch them in their mouth. You can score and you can move the ball on anybody. We seriously thought with the lower ranked teams in weeks prior, hey, we're going to go and we're going to score on them. We didn't. And last week we went out and punched the Giants right in their mouth. I expect us to do the same thing. It's going to be a little bit tougher task this week with the elite defense that you were just talking about that the Jets have. This is a tough defense. They give up not too many yards, not too many points. Last week against the Chargers, it was a lopsided score, but if you looked at the yards and what they've done, they really held Herbert in check. And so it's gonna be interesting to see what O'Connell does.
This is a really, really struggling Jets team right now.
Yeah.
I mean, they are struggling a little bit. They're 4-4. They're lucky to be 4-4. And this is a game for the Raiders where offensively, if we can punch them in the mouth and score on them early on their elite defense, man, they might be done. This game could be over early for the Raiders. If we could put up a quick 7 on this defense, who is a confident defense, they might start not to feel confident anymore if this Raider offense can do something special early in this game.
You do that, you take away their confidence, and to be honest with you, you let's say you stop Jets. You go 10-0. A 10-0 ball game for the Jets is like a 3-possession ball game. And I'm not being mean. I'm not talking down because we've been there. We've done that. We weren't be able to score for 8-9 weeks, you know. And last week we just get a little taste of it. And I'm not, getting ahead of myself. But I've been watching these Jet games. They've been on primetime, a couple weeks now and everything. And they put up field goals, Art. That's all they do is just put up field goals. It's hard for them to move the ball. It's hard for them to put up touchdowns. I think they only got like maybe 8 or 9 touchdowns this year. Got to take advantage of that and put up some points.
Devontae Adams hasn't really had a big statistical game for the Raiders in a long time, but he affects the game in many ways. Last week, made some clutch catches, and also, he draws doubles and triple team at him, leaving open receivers such as Jacoby Myers, Hunter Renfrow, Trey Tucker, the tight ends. So Devontae's making a big impact, but I think he's going to make a big impact in this game on Sunday Night Football, and I think you're going to be able to see it on paper, and you're going to see it out there on the field.
I think you're going to see it, yes. I think you're going to see a lot of yards. I think you might see a touchdown or two, because I'm going to say this. If all else fails, if our run game isn't going, if everyone's getting covered, if this defense is really is elite and shutting us down, you just got to throw it anywhere near Devontae, and he's going to make a play or try to make a play. He's our best offensive player. Let's get the ball in his hands, and hopefully he has a great day Sunday night.
Josh Jacobs. He ran like an animal last week. Had a really good game. Maybe a little bit of a breakout game, people will say. Jacobs had a really good game earlier this year against the Chargers. And around the week 3, week 4 range. And after that, he went silent until this game. This past game we had. It's huge for Jacobs to have 2 good games in a row. And it eases the load on Aiden O'Connell a little bit.
Yeah, this is the point last season where he really got it going. So we hope it's the same exact thing. Looked really good, had a 100-yard game, then his last rush got it taken away. And it's time to build off of that and put up your first 100-yard game of the season, couple touchdowns. Because like I said, what about Devontae? If everything else fails, we need this run game. I know I said the last one, I said if the run game fails, but if everything else fails and this run game gets going, it's going to open up a whole lot of things.
An X factor for this Raider offense is Trey Tucker, Nick. He makes really big plays. He's fast. He's a speedster. He's a downfield threat. Had a good game last game, and I expect him to have another, one of his 3 or 4 plays that makes a big impact on this game, where he goes for over 50-plus yards and maybe a couple of big PIs in this football game. What do you expect from Trey Tucker in this game? How do you see Bo Hargree using him?
Just like what you said, to be honest with you, whether it's pass interference, whether he runs with the football or catches the football, it's big yardage. It's chunk plays. That's something that we've needed to be explosive. That's something that's happened. You put him on the field, you target him, you give him the ball, great things happen. Whether it's a pass interference or he runs with the football or he catches the football. I like the way we need to use him more. I like the way we are using him. And hopefully in weeks coming, it's not he's only had a couple touches. Hopefully it's, hey, 5 or 6 touches and look at this monster 100-yard game, 100 something where he just breaks off and is a monster.
For all these players that we named to be utilized, this offensive line is going to need to play really good in this game. They're going to need to keep taking steps forward in the right direction, and they did that last week, and hopefully they continue it this week. Cole Miller has missed a couple of practices. We hope and pray that he's out there, but it's going to be huge for this offensive line right here, especially against a good Jets pass rush. Keep Aiden,
keep Aiden clean.
Keep Aiden a little bit clean. And open up some holes for Josh Jacobs in this game, Nick.
Exactly. Keep Aiden clean. Open up some holes for Jacobs. It starts at the line, and if we want to be successful, we got to protect our quarterback and make holes for Josh Jacobs.
All right, let's talk about this Raider defense. This game, prime time, everyone's advertising it as a defensive game. This Raider defense has been hot lately. Getting sacks, getting turnovers, getting fumbles, getting picks. The secondary is playing good. The linebackers are playing good. D-line's playing good. The whole line, the edges, tackles. What do you expect from this Raider defense in this game?
I expect him to do a couple turnovers, sack the quarterback. We are facing an offensive line that's struggling, and lucky for us, we got Max Crosby. This defense has been great. We haven't seen this at all probably in our lifetime. Everyone's been scoring all over us and everything. We're creating turnovers, and we're giving the ball back to our offenses, and that's all we can ask for. I like what I see, and I hope it keeps on going.
Yes, Raider defense making plays, flying around, and against a struggling Jets offense, I think this is where we take advantage, and this is something that Coach Pierce is gonna, talk to the guys about. Let's step on our throat right here.
Yeah,
they're a struggling offense. Let's seal the deal. Let's put the nail in the coffin on this Zach Wilson era with New York.
Yeah.
So. Man, I expect a lot from this Raider defense. I think it's going to be exciting seeing that Raider defense out on the field. Sunday Night Football in Allegiant Stadium. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, yes it is.
All right, let's go to our keys to the game, Nick. What is your first key of the game in this one?
My first one, win the turnover battle. Jets turned the ball over 3 times last week, and with their struggling offense, they got whooped. They didn't look good at all. Create some turnovers, protect the football at all costs. That's a really good defense. Don't fumble the ball, don't throw any picks, don't do anything, and we should walk out here good.
My first key to the game is to win the game in the trenches. Going to be huge in this game, absolutely huge. Our offensive line needs to hold their good defensive line, keep Aiden clean, give Josh Jacobs some holes. And as far as our defensive line, we need to expose their bad and awful offensive line.
Yes.
Max Crosby needs to come in there. Malcolm Kuntz, all these edge rushers, Tyree Wilson, and the tackles.
Yeah.
It's going to be huge in the trenches. That's my first key to the game.
Yeah, my second one, get the run game going again. Josh Jacobs have a big game again. And if you want to be creative, you give Trey Tucker the ball, give Jacoby Myers the ball, which you did last week, which was beautiful. Just let's get this run game going again, and let's put up some big yards on the ground.
My second key to the game is to win time possession. That's going to be absolutely huge in this game, especially on a defensive type of matchup.
Yeah.
2 defenses that are hot, 2 defenses that are playing good. I mean, every time our offense has the ball, every second we have the ball is huge in this game, especially a game that could be tight.
Yeah.
That's going to be huge in this game.
Yeah, my last one, be efficient in the red zone. We did a great job last week. We were 3 for 4. Let's keep it going. Can't put up 3s. That other team in the Jets, they put up 3s. You got to put up 7s, and let's get this ball game done with early.
My final key of the game is the same as last week. Just win, baby. I want to see this Raider team smoking cigars in the Raider locker room at the end of the game once again.
That would be awesome. That would
be absolutely great. Sunday Night Football. All right, let's do our Raiders offensive and defensive player of the game predictions. Nick, we'll start offensive.
I'm going to go Josh Jacobs. I think we're going to have a big day on the ground. I think he has his first 100-yard game, couple touchdowns, and even maybe a big day out of the backfield too. If all else fails, Josh Jacobs is going to walk away with the game ball at the end of Sunday Night Football.
Give me Trey Tucker. Like I said, he's an X factor, and I expect Bill Hardegree to utilize him. And I think, like I said, he's a guy that 2 or 3 big plays can really affect a football game. And I think Trey Tucker could be a guy that does that. I think, I think he can go through this Jet secondary and break him over the top.
Yeah, we're really high on this guy, aren't we?
We are really high on him.
I hope everything works out.
We like the fast guys. We really do like the fast guys. All right, let's do defensively for the Raiders.
I'm going to go Max Crosby. Earlier this week, I looked at all of his stats. He's a half a sack behind, and all of his stats, he's leading the pressures, the tackles for losses. He has a safety under his belt, some other stuff. He gets a couple sacks, gets after the quarterback, more tackles for losses, and adds to his Defensive Player of the Year resume.
My Defensive Player of the Game prediction is going to be Marcus Peters. He's been getting close to interceptions. I mean, he's had them in his hands.
Yeah.
Had them in his hands. I mean, he's a guy that in his career, he's got a lot of picks, a lot of pick sixes, and he's known for having great hands at the quarterback position. And he's been getting close, but this week, I think he starts to get on a roll. And Zach Wilson makes some crazy throws sometimes and puts other teams' corners in good position for picks. I think Marcus Peters is going to be a guy that does that this week.
Yeah, I hope so.
All right, our score predictions, Nick, for this game: Raiders-Jets Sunday Night Football.
We're going to win this ball game 20-13. As much as I always say, as much as I want to come up here and, hey, we're going to put up 30 against the best defense in the league or one of the best defenses in the league, I think it's going to be some punts, a lot of back and forth, some field goals, and we win 20-13.
I got us winning 24-10 in this football game. A little bit of a whooping. I think first half is going to be a really good half of football. I think the third quarter is where we're really going to separate ourselves. And, man, I expect us to win this game. I expect us to score more than 20 on this defense, and that's going to be an accomplishment. And our defense to keep going and get on the roll.
Yeah, I hope so. I think with everything, I think we win this game in the third quarter. And for fourth quarter, just easy sailing.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fourth quarter easy sailing as well.
This is going to be a good one, Art.
Big game. Very big game for the Raiders. We'll see you guys for the Raider Talks game recap. Go Raiders.
Go Raiders.